Hey, welcome back out there. This is Shrimp of the House Recall, Part 5, page 15. I'm going to start off by saying here in the playground set, these images have been coming off lightning fast. Whoops, let's go here. Not exactly sure what it is about this set that makes it go faster than the set at home, but it does, and I'll take it. But it's just a heads up that we're going to be interrupted quite a bit when the pictures come up. I think I'm going to do a wide shot. Yeah, let's go 18. Let's go ahead and paste as a new layer, and we're going to flip this. Isn't he supposed to be in school? Huh? So it's what I'm trying to do here is kind of have the characters address it without the whole story getting bogged down constantly. Because we've already had Jackson ask about it. We've already had him go in, Aiden go into the story with Jackson. Um, it's kind of natural, like that they would be asking about it, but I don't really want to bog down the story with constant rehashing. So we're gonna just throw the question out there and kind of hand wave it away as far as these two go. It's not exactly hand waving it because I've already addressed it, but see, and here's the picture waiting for me to. And it's kind of funny, this playground set was sort of just thrown together as a throwaway piece for Aiden's bully. It was only meant to be, it's. I only intended to use it for a few scenes, so I didn't put in a lot of effort to it. Um, where are we? No, I need you. Okay, so let's go this one. That one, bring it over here. Not my problem. Here's adult responsible Alex. All of a sudden, not my problem. Not my problem. Not my problem. I'm worried about that history test tomorrow. Yeah, that's. And I keep coming back to this set here and there. And every time I do, I kind of tell myself that again, I'm coming back as a throwaway. Just for one more scene, that's it. Where it's at the point, it's I've kind of fallen in love with like using it for Aiden scenes to where I really should just accept it as a permanent set and revamp it. Throw in some more like trees and foliage in the background to so it doesn't look so plain, so I don't have to um, watch the camera angles. Because, like I said, being a throwaway set, there's, it's got some huge sort of visual issues with background that I always just meant to hand wave away. Or you just not hand wave. Let's bring this bubble down here. I always meant to just like not worry about by watching the camera angles. Let's see, layer, new layer. Select shrink. I sort of hate to do these side to side head panels when the characters are right next to each other, but I really don't want to have the whole page being these 1/3 panels like that, just being like carbon copies of this. $19. I think I'm going to do this. Oops, too much. So it's the idea is where he's kind of exploring other options. It's not that he's abandoned. Yep, here's my picture. It's not that he's like abandoned trying to pass this not trying to pass. Uh, it's not that he's trying to abandon passing high school, or he's giving up trying to ace this exam and pass the class. Let's see if I want to do this where I cut him off almost completely. Although I think word bubble will hide the ear. But like the options he's considered before, he sort of takes into account the possibility that he might not graduate, whereas he's liking Bo's idea of picking a trade instead. But like was discussed, he's operating under the premise that he still needs the high school diploma to go into it. So it's like now the history test is kind of taken on a new urgency. Whereas like when he's considering the military, layer to image size. It's the possibility is there that he might not, that he doesn't absolutely have to. It's not do or die with this test, but now it is in his mind. Let's see. I'm trying to think. No. Let's see. So part of this conversation too, is kind of meant to, is meant to sort of portray the nuance in his grade situation. So let's see. Fine isn't good enough. I think I did fine on my math exam today, but I didn't. Ah, so this is where we've already got the picture. But I think I did fine, but I didn't exactly do great. Fine isn't good enough. I think I did fine on my exam today, but I didn't exactly do great. I think I did fine on my math. Fine isn't good enough. I think I did fine on my math, but I didn't. Tomorrow I'll fail. My history will fail. Very class. Okay. Scale that one to 33. So now the question is, what I'm thinking is, oh my god, see, this is what I'm trying to avoid. Although, you know what I could do? Just take her out completely. No. Wait, what's going on here? Okay. Maybe if I turn this off. Okay, let's try this and see what happens. I'm going to call this Alt instead of deleting the picture. The fine isn't good enough. So basically, he's fine there. I think I went a little overboard with. um, okay, so what I'm thinking is splitting this into this panel, but I didn't exactly do great. Oops. Control C. Control V. Park you there. Okay. I'm going to trim this just a little. So it's, I think, end 2 here. Where in the grand scheme of things, we just had the scene where he's talking about possibly going into a trade. I really don't want to dash it this soon into this part. Okay, so let's see what we got. Here. Not that one. Open as layers. $33. So if we put, so like it were. Oh yeah, see, so she's out of the picture completely, or at least her head is, not her. I don't. The shoulder isn't really bothering me. It's none. And then once the word bubble goes in, you won't see the hair looking weird. I should have tried to pop him out too. Okay, I'm going to delete that. See, and this is what I was talking about. Two separate panels where the characters are next to each other anyway. Let's shrink that, select, invert, edit, cut. Okay, file, save. I think I did fine on my math exam today, but I didn't exactly do great. Okay, so I've still got the neck. Let's delete the key, and that'll put her back to normal. So I don't know if it comes across in the images, but you'll see there's two separate gazebos. So that's why that's why when the camera's on the kids, you don't see these two behind them. They're on the other side of the playground. So I've got David parented to the hand so that I can move them both in unison, but now it's time to unparent them and hopefully, okay. I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay. Technically, the pelvis bone is invisible. The pelvis bone is invisible, so technically, every time I get that stupid poke through, I'm not exactly. I shouldn't exactly be violating anybody's terms of services because technically you're not. Technically, there's no butt crack to see. Speaking of, okay, so let's see which bone do I want to. Oh no, he's got to be repositioned. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Now we'll just twist this a little bit. sort of clear out some of these. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's what we're going with. 20. Zoom out a little bit. I want some more room to. Actually, let's grab this one. Reorder this one. And I'm going to move you up to the top. I'm going to take this. Let's go edit, paste as new layer. I want another one. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking of this, I'm going to grab this one instead. New layer. And then just delete this one. Oh, okay. No. So we gotta renumber this one to 21. Okay, so let's see. What I'm gonna do is layer transform, rotate it. Oh, okay, that's good. What I'm gonna do is kind of connect these two boxes. Control C, edit, paste as new layer, where we select none. Edit, cut, select none, edit. And I think I've kind of been going back and forth on how long this piece is expected to be. What I'm gonna do is see, we move that one down here. Um, and I know I've kind of said before that in the back of my head, I've I've always suspected this one was going to go to about 7 parts, like the very first story. And I think kind of more recently, I've been thinking that I would like to wrap it up in 6 parts. Aiden, please don't do this. But I'm sort of going back because, like I said early on, it's a lot more fun with David at these smaller sizes. It's, I can work sort of David's adventure into these side stories a little bit more at this size if he's kind of like the unwilling observer. And so it's like I've said early in this story that the pace, the sort of movement of time is slowing down, at this point, I kind of knew it from the beginning because it's reaching a point in the story where David can really David's dilemma here can really meshes a lot better with what's going on in his layers. And what I'm tempted is with this one is to make it a big picture and take advantage of all the empty space, so to speak. Just get a sense of how small David is at this point. Because I've spent a large chunk of this part already on the previous day, and now I'm going to spend another, and now I'm kind of spending it on a day by day. So if, I'm trying to think. So if this is supposed to be Thursday in the current week, he's got the exam on Friday, and then, oh, what did I just do? Invert, emerge down. Let's see. And then I want to do the dinner. So it's, basically dealing with sort of each and every day at this point, whereas earlier in the story, I was skipping probably like half a week just to advance time faster. Um, but at the same time, I don't have much more wiggle room in the other story. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Might I'm gonna see if I can take that slide out because I like this. I want this wide shot. If I take out the whole group, it's too much. Um, oh, it's this thing. It's not a slide. And we need Olivia. I think this is the negative. No, it's the z-axis. We just need her in the shot right now. What we're going to do is a composite shot. And hope this comes out like I want it to. So, collapse all. Let me make sure I've got this right. So I'm going to select David and the roundabout. I'm going to park them into this group, and they should go away. And we're going to call that A. Oops, it's not 21, it's 22. Then what I'm going to do is render the next layer with just the roundabout and David, and take everything else out. That way I can blur the roundabout to give it some semblance of motion. But yeah, it's like, I think at this point Alex's story is moving. I don't know if it's moving a little too fast, but it's not exactly something that I can keep coming back to without moving it forward. So let's unparent. We're going to take the kids and park them in the group. I think I'm trying to find the light. So let's unparent the lights because I need those, and then I think I can turn the yard off. Okay. And then B. Render that, and I might as well open. We're not opening this as layer. Okay. So there's the main layer. And I'm sure these kids will probably end up getting cut off once it goes on the page, but whatever. You know, and going back for a second, like, so it's like, I think, like, Alex has got to get spaced a little bit more, but now it's kind of getting a little more interesting for Aiden to take a stronger spot in this. Okay, see, so now I get my two layers. And then what we're going to do is come into filters, go blur, and I think we want linear motion. Whee! Let's see how much. Okay, so not that much. How about just 20? Okay. So then we'll go export. Drop the letter and export. And go ahead and close that. And then let's come over here. File, open as layers. I think, oh shoot. Let's see, I wanted Aiden. Well, maybe if I cut Aiden off. Probably not. What I'm going to have to do is let's set up the box to cut it, and then we'll fit the. See, I should have put Aiden. That works. I think let's move Aiden to the edge of the page. Whoops. I didn't extend the box enough. Shoot. I'm looking at this. I'd almost like to. I'm going to redo this. And let's grab the. That's a little better. So let's render that. I'm going to come in here and delete the layer. I'm thinking of redoing this first layer as well to move the kids together into the scene. Bring Eli over here. Maybe move Aiden over here so I can broaden out this. So let's turn on the yard. Who am I looking at? Eli, Olivia, and Aiden. Oops. Those three, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is grab Aiden. Park him back a little. As long as I don't move the camera, this will be fine. This will give me. Okay, let's collapse all. I want to take the roundabout and David, and let's put them into one of these invisible folders. I'm going to render this A again, which means we come in here and let's delete A. File, open. we want to open as layers. We want a separate in. While we're waiting, let's go filter, blur, linear motion, and we had luck with 20, so let's go 20. Wow! See, the legs are his legs are flying out from under him. Probably should drop it a little lower to make it look like he's sliding down the pole. It'll work. And here we go. So let's see, we'll open his layers. Let's see how this one looks. We're gonna bring it back. Yay! Export as. We're just gonna overwrite it. Export. Oops, I probably could have done export to. Oh no, I couldn't have. Okay, so we're gonna close that. Come in here, and let's do this again. Open as layers. 34. See, I can get more of the roundabout with Aiden. With the kids pulled in. Yeah. And select that. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that layer. Okay. Let's delete you. Layer image size. Let's fuzzy select. Yeah. See, so what I'm doing with this one is instead of doing so the idea is it's what I'm doing is trying to sort of run the two separate scenes together rather than do their scene, then go back and do his scene, so on and so on. So it's like, so it's like the scene with Alex and what's her name here ends up blending into the scene with Aiden and David. So we're going to file save image, flatten, export. And because I was saving the other ones as PNG, this one's going to default to PNG. So we've got to change it. Export. Grab all of these and dump them in there. And we've got, isn't he supposed to be in school? Not my problem. I'm worried about that history test tomorrow. I'm sure you'll do fine. You've been studying for it for a month now. Fine isn't good enough. I think I did fine on my math exam today, but I didn't exactly do great. So I'll pass math, but if I don't do a lot better tomorrow, I'll fail that history class. Aiden, please don't do this. That's page 15. And again, part of the idea for this scene of having Alex taking the break at the playground just when Aiden shows up. As you'll see if you've checked out the part before watching this video, the idea is that, like in earlier stories, Alex would have stepped in to kind of rescue David from this situation. Whereas what you'll see in the next page or two is he just stays out of it. Like he'll realize what's going on and just kind of stay out of it, mind his own business, not get involved. But that's page 15. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I will see you next time. and thank you for tuning in.